teachers, and the leadership of this amazing industrial and educational family, the Birlas, and particularly the leadership here at BK Birla Institute. I'm touched by all the warmth you have shown, sirs and ma'ams. I'm touched by the warmth because, also because I come from a very, very cold place called Ladakh right this morning. Truly touched by the warmth of Kalyan. Thank you. When I went to the airport this morning, the Indus River was partly freezing with minus 18 degrees, and it more than makes up for the warmth that nowadays Ladakh is missing, to be here amongst all of you with all the warmth. So thanks once again. I feel really honored to be amongst people who are doing such great service to the nation and to the society, the locality, not just through industry and business, but through well-being of the people around. And I was happy to notice that an all-round holistic well-being, where your mind through the educational institutes, physical well-being through the hospitals that you just mentioned, and the temple, I'm sure, takes care of the spiritual well-being of the people. I haven't seen many organizations that take such complete care of the people around them. I warmly congratulate the whole Birla family of institutions and industries, and consider it an honor to be here. I bring you greetings also. In Ladakh we say Jule, so that's the way you greet people in Ladakh. So Jule, all of you. And if you ever come to Ladakh, this word will help you a lot, because it means namaste, it means dhanyawad, it means good night, good morning, and even thank you. So with this one word, you have learned quite a bit of Ladakhi. So it's a great word to connect. I'm happy to share a little bit of my life and some learnings from whatever struggles and mistakes we made, and hope that the young people here will, through their own lives, bring changes in our great nation, become change makers, and lead this nation to even higher greatness. I'll share a little bit of where I come from, because it's a very different kind of environment, and it's a great way to integrate, to be meeting people from different places, like myself from the top north. As you may have seen in the images, it is a very different landscape where monsoon clouds do not reach, with the Himalayas standing there, and we are in the rain shadow of the Himalayas, so there is hardly any precipitation, just 100 millimeters in a year. So it's a desert, and life is very different. Some would say harsh, but we find our own ways of finding meaning and purpose, and therefore do not find it that harsh also. My own childhood began in a very tiny village, even further away from the city in this remote region. And it was so tiny that it had only 5 households back then. But today it has grown 100% to become 10 households. So, being so small a hamlet, we didn't have schools in this village. Although some would consider it a difficult challenge, but looking back, I think it was actually a great good thing that I didn't have schools in that village, because it gives you another way of finding out, discovering the world around you. And I always say, no school is better than bad schools. So it's not that there were no schools so I could not learn. Children are designed by nature to learn. They are packed with this great formula called curiosity. And as long as you have that, children will always learn. So I was happy and lucky to discover the world by going into the fields, into the river, onto apricot trees and jumping around. I often tease my friends who had schools that when you were learning through pages of a book about roots and shoots and leaves, and were memorizing L-E-A-F leaf and L-E-A-V-E-S leaves, I could go and see the seeds go in, roots go under, and shoots come up, and leaves unfurl without having to bother about the spellings and so on. So, that in itself can be a great way of learning. And add to that, I was also lucky that I could learn from my own mother in my mother tongue, luxury that has become very rare today, unfortunately. We pressure our children in languages before they have grasped them, and overlook or ignore the great asset that they have in the form of their own mother tongue, which they acquired even before their birth. And we set that aside and start in new languages, thereby actually giving them a challenge at that early age. So I was lucky, I always feel, to be able to learn in my own mother tongue. And once you have a good grasp of your mother tongue, it doesn't take long to acquire other languages. I very much say that in our country, more and more children should get this opportunity to unveil the world and discover the world in the comfort of the strength of one's own mother tongue. And that way, I think Maharashtra is a great state where this is being given a lot of importance. I'm also involved in the Maharashtra International Education Board, which actually is trying to bring Marathi as a medium and doing international education. And I heard that your school will be looking into participating into that. I just wanted to say how it is important that children get a great beginning without the stress of an unfamiliar language and so on. So anyway, after this tough childhood, not so far, not till 9, it was actually a fun childhood, but around 9 is when my relatives thought that I was wasting my childhood and they dragged me into a school, and I often say there ended my true learning. And I was made to memorize all these words and so on, and I had the most challenging few years after that, because teachers